Dr. Zelenka. Oh, Zelenka, right.
Yeah,
Doctor now?
I'm just wondering, like, he always seems to be sort of rather put upon by Rodney and sort of underappreciated. Are there any sort of scenes where Dr. Zelenka sort of managed to, what's the word, upstage Rodney?
Never. He definitely had a few, throughout the seasons, I think he definitely had moments where he got to quote unquote shine, that people like. But I think one of the things I love about McKay is that he doesn't do the right thing all the time. And I think Zelenka is a perfect example of someone who, he's obviously uncomfortable with someone who's somewhere in the range of his intelligence. And it's hard to distinguish between David and McKay. So I love that relationship because he does put him down. He's absolutely vicious to him all the time. But people are like that. If you don't like someone, that's what you're like with them. I mean, so it was one of those things that I was always glad when there were moments where you saw sort of a little insight into how he really does actually truly care for the guy. But on a day-to-day basis, it's like working in the office, right? You can't stand the guy in the cubicle beside you. That poor cubicle with Zelenka.
I'm sure he feels the same way.
I love your sanctuary.
Oh, thank you.
And,
the web version, I guess.
The web version.
I never made it to TV. I got cut on the TV one.
Because I love Larry Tolson, and then of course we watched the Sci-Fi Network version. No, Larry Tolson, this big buff guy sitting there. I'm like, what happened to David? And I thought that maybe.
I tried working out, but I guess it didn't. I showed up greased up and all.
Did Paul McGinnis play Squid, the guy who sort of informs them?
I don't know. I really don't know. The problem is that they were shooting at the same time that we were doing season 5. So we're so on different, completely different time. Completely different time. They were basically shooting nights, we're shooting days.
I just
So.
I love Larry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
The whole white guy.
I think it's a little sad that
so well.
he's a serial killer. Yeah, he's an interesting character. I mean, when I first started acting, I always played the psychotics. I mean, I don't know what happened. At some point, I suddenly switched it went from being scary psychotic to just being kind of dorky. I was like, I wanted to be James Dean. I ended up, being Frasier. Escape. Oh, Niles. Who's next? Very good. Oh, hello. You should sell aerobics tapes. The amount of jumping around you have to do with the Q&A, yeah. I got a question. Super. Hey, should I guess it?
Talk into the microphone.
This is the best question yet.
The suspense is killing
That was the question.
How's it going, Rodney?
What happened to the question? Oh.
Okay, my question is, have you used or have you heard of GNU Linux? And if not, what operating system do you use?
I was a big Unix fan. One of the reasons why I was so happy about getting back into the Macs was because they were running basically the Berkeley BSD, right? Is that what they were running on the Macs? For the new OS X? Is that right, Berkeley? Yeah. Which is one of the things I was one of the first people in Toronto to spend ridiculous amounts of money to get on the internet, and it was all a Unix system. So basically, I learned all those useful commands for going with the wrong computers at the wrong time, and so I always loved that side of stuff. But I'm a Mac guy now. It's so easy. What? What? You love me? So I think he needs a mic. Or a muzzle. But no, I've not used that version of Unix, but I played Red Hat for a while, and unfortunately, I only knew enough to really get in trouble. I was a typical sort of actor approach to it was like, okay, So I've got two Unix commands that I know. I want to now hack into the Pentagon. Why is this not working? List.
Who would you sing gay for?
What was that? Who would you sing gay for? I'm sorry, Kevin. Repeat that. Kevin's just fishing, I think, is what it is. I mean, at some point he's hoping I'll finally just be a cave. Cave? Next question.
How do you feel about techno battle? Because it's playing the game to get compliment. How do you cope with that?
It's funny, the techno battle was a funny story, but I was talking with Brad Wright at one point. I actually think we're doing the Shrine. I said, oh, you know what's so great about this episode is that it's almost like being a mute. I don't have to do the techno battle. He said, what? I don't the techno battle. I usually have so much techno battle to do. He said, that's not techno battle. That's a bit old. Yeah, fine, you spend your weekends learning. I'm actually, this is always like a shock to people. I am a very, very slow learner of lines. Like people will come up to me, we'll do like these little TV promos and stuff, and they'll say, oh here, and they'll flash a sign at me and say, here, just say this. I get it wrong like every time. Completely wrong. They're like, how do you remember all the techno stuff and you can't repeat something that someone said, like 1 second ago? And I spend ridiculous amounts of time learning lines. So basically, here's how it goes. So Friday night, you finish shooting, you have like a nice night off. Saturday morning, you wake up, you go through the next script for the next week, learn as much of it as you possibly can. Sunday, you focus on Monday and Tuesday, and then Monday you're back at work. So that's basically how it works for me. So basically, the 9 months of shooting is pretty solid. So Technobabble, I hate it. Yeah, I love it. It's a lot of fun to do, and I take a certain sort of twisted, sort of masochistic pride in making sure that I know this stuff. There's also nothing worse than showing up on set and not knowing your lines. I've seen it happen a few times, and it's it's painful. It's painful to watch. So. So I'm a bit of a nerd with learning the lines, and I also tend to look stuff up, so I can go wrong. I said this here, I should not. That is wrong. What should it say? I don't know. I'm an actor. I learned it anyway, so I'm going to say it. What else we got?
How much of your own stunt work do you guys get to do or are forced to do on the show?
I do all my own stunts. And a lot of Joe's as well. I taught Jason every movie note. I do nothing. I literally will run. I literally convinced Bam Bam, our fight and stunt coordinator, or whatever he calls himself, party guy, into getting someone to run for me in one of the episodes. I was just like, okay, so this is a running sequence. Who we got? Boy, you just run through the... I was like, yeah, but there's, I see a lot of stumps and roots and things. And if I go down, this show grinds wall. So he actually talked him into doing it. He's very good at running away. But exactly. Hey, it's the self-preservation. I think it's the smartest thing you can do. Like man is the only animal that doesn't, that feels the need to sort of, present itself as a, most animals just run away when they're faced with danger. And so do I.